After nearly 7 months of negotiations between two parties, we may now have a deal within 24 hours. Major announcements today from both sides indicate that a deal could be announced within 48 hours. This is not a law, this is not a check in your hand, but a deal that would in essence say that the stimulus negotiations for your second stimulus check have been finalized. It's truly remarkable. And today will be the day in which this channel reaches 300,000 subscribers. The question is, what's going to happen and what's coming up next? This is a bombshell of afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE, in a day in which we are now waiting for the next 24 hours, it should be 48 hours, in which a deal for the second stimulus package will be announced, says both sides this afternoon. This is, boy, eye-opening and really incredible, but don't be tossing the confetti just yet. We want to make sure that it's exactly something right up our alley. So go to the Funnest channel, subscribe, because I'm really excited for you, but I'm not going to send you to go buy fireworks yet and throw potpourri, or throw confetti. You don't throw potpourri. That just makes people smell too much. Unless they do smell, just throw lots of potpourri on people. Also, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over why there's new statements today, this afternoon, that there will be a deal in the next 48 hours. Why these statements are totally different than anything I've seen in the last 6 months. Why, in my opinion, I believe they're telling the truth, that there will be a deal announced in the next 48 hours. But why a deal in the next 48 hours does not mean a check in your hand in the next 48 hours. And when would you get a check? This should be categorically the most exciting video you're watching on this channel in the last 24 hours. And I need to tell you that this recording is made at about 1:30 Pacific Standard Time today, and things could change, but I don't think they're going to change by the time that this video is uploaded. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that both sides are now indicating that the negotiations have accelerated in rapid speed like we have never seen in 7 months in just the last 12 hours. There's some sense of urgency going on. They're not saying what the urgency is. I have an opinion about it. And that there will be a deal announced in 48 hours between Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin. Let's just all breathe a second. Let's just all breathe, sighs. Okay, put our feet down. Let's keep it down. Okay, now, I know what you're saying. You have been lied to by Nancy Pelosi 9,000 times. You've been lied to by Steve Mnuchin 12,000 times. Both have consistently said, oh, we're going to have a deal by tomorrow. We're going to have a deal by today. I got to tell you, now my opinion, jumping in right here, is this is different. This is absolutely different. And I'm going to explain now, going back to the facts. What's going on now is nothing you've seen before. What's going on now is that there are Senate and House members on both sides negotiating and working on this deal in the last 24 hours. If you watch Early Mornings LALATE, which has now been a blockbuster of a show, I mean, we're up to, I think, 250,000 views in just a few hours. That broadcast explained to you how we're no longer just Nancy and Steve. We now have a whole group of people who are dedicated for certain industries in the Congress working on the deal. I have been calling for this for months. I said that Steve and Nancy can't get this done. You need a lot of more people, that the first stimulus package had a lot of people involved, and that's why it got done, because a lot of people had interest in the situation. When you don't have people involved, and they say, well, you know, I don't know what's going on. You're not involving me. If you involve me, I can get it done, and I can get it to the finish line. Well, Mark Meadows, Nancy Pelosi, and another person in the Trump administration from, Council of Economic Advisors Acting Chairman Tyler Goodspeed, all three today have now said that ostensibly they believe a deal will be announced in the next 48 hours. Okay, so let's just keep it calm. Let me explain procedurally what this means. First, I really am very, I rarely say this on a video, but I'm going to say this today. Please tune off all the other crap because I know there's going to be someone that's going to do this and is going to say there's going to be a check in your hand tomorrow. I'm really pissed off every time I hear someone say that because this is really incorrect reporting. Or that someone says that there's a law tomorrow. There's no law tomorrow. There's no check in your hand tomorrow. So we, as the Purple Power, are very sophisticated and very informed. So let me explain where we are with this. If there is a deal announced between Steve and Nancy in 48 hours from now, you do not have a law. All you have is two people agreeing on something. The difference this time, however, is now you have all these subcommittee chairs in both the House and the Senate agreeing to the language. Let me explain what that means for you. It means that when the bill ultimately is introduced to the House and the Senate, the committees that would normally wait to see the bill arrive have already seen the bill and have already written the bill that they're actually voting on. So now they're voting on something that they've actually written themselves. So the likelihood of a yes vote is extremely high because these are people who actually were involved in writing the bill. This is first incredibly important. Second, what's also really important to understand is that there is a competing force, and the competing force is the Supreme Court nominee. There is a lot of chatter, including a Mitch McConnell statement to his GOP leaders overnight, that Nancy Pelosi is trying to rush the stimulus deal in so that she overtakes any time that could be done on getting the Supreme Court nominee. She wants the stimulus deal voted upon before the Supreme Court nominee. Ironically, she has the vast majority of American people supporting her. 63% of Americans polled overnight by CNBC said you should not be voting on the Supreme Court nominee first. You should be doing the stimulus check. And Mitch is worried that Nancy's going to try to block the Supreme Court nominee's time allocation for voting with discussions of stimulus check. He thinks it's a ploy. Third, there's a lot of major news reports out across the board that Donald Trump's in big trouble. He's literally in big trouble. I'm going to be going over that in the next 4 videos, in the next 3 videos, which are going to come out in shorter time frame. 1, he's very far behind in the polls. 2, he's running out of money. 3, his major donors are not donating to his campaign. 4, he's not pulling in money. He's running out of cash. He's really against the wall. It's a very bad situation for him. And so what he is potentially doing is throwing the kitchen sink in with Nancy Pelosi to get 11th hour win and then claim victory and hope that does it for him. But there is a competing force out there, which is the Senate GOP members, which ultimately may be voted out. And if they see themselves being voted out, they're not going to give you a stimulus package. They're going to say, hey, wait till January. So let me explain to you what the comments were in the last few minutes. And I got to tell you, this is not it is broadcast news where these comments made, but they did not go widespread. Generally, for example, if you tune into CNBC, they would have a stimulus update every 10 seconds. Oh, okay, Nancy said this, Nancy said this. No one carried this. It went really quietly through the airways in the last few minutes. Nancy Pelosi appeared on Andrea Mitchell on MSNBC, and said that I'm pretty happy, this is just minutes ago, I'm pretty happy that we have a prospect for an agreement, a deal. I said to them, what is your position? The deadline that she had set was to ask for both sides to say, what is your position? That's coming to the conclusion. Now we're coming to the conclusion of the appropriate piece later today. Later today, the Appropriations Committee will be looking at the final words. So she says, we're just weighing on the equalities. We do need more money. They finally arrived at all this after all these months. So she says that the White House has finally come up to the numbers she is happy with, and she is thankful that they have finally arrived, that the numbers are now agreed upon, and that they're only working on the language. She does say we do need more money, so she may be pulling back on her money demands. She says we do need more money to crush the virus, and they finally reached that after all these months. There's no reason why schools should not be safer in this country. It takes too much money to make it safe. Children learning, parents earning. I'm optimistic. And then she says basically that she can't hold out for the perfect dollar number. And that ultimately, if the language is fine and the dollar number is close to where she wants, she's going to have to accept it. This is her words. What happened to, who's this person? Who is this person? Then she says, I'm even optimistic even with what Mitch says. We want it, this is Nancy talking, we want it voted upon and becoming law before the election. Help is on the way. It will be bigger, safer, and retroactive. Boy, okay. Now, the title of the article did say, she says it's imminent. She did use the word imminent again, her favorite word. But you see how this is sort of different. This is really different. The president is now, his numbers are up. His numbers are right at her numbers, or higher than her numbers. They've agreed upon language. They've agreed upon ostensibly everything with the exception of state and local and maybe PPP. There's a few numbers they're not agreeing upon yet, but is that really going to hold it up? Mark Meadows gave a briefing about this minutes ago as well. He said the negotiations the last few hours have entered a, quote, new phase. I'm optimistic. We do share one goal, and that is hopefully to get some type of deal in the next 48 hours. Number two, that's the second person who said it. Council of Economic Advisors Acting Chairman Tyler Goodspeed says that we are getting very close. We are getting close because chairs on both sides of the committees are working on issues. Treasury Secretary will be speaking to the Speaker later this afternoon. And when asked by Maria Bartolomeo why, after 7 months, some companies may not be coming back, why is this taking so long? He says, I think we're really basically there. Meadows has said as well, I can tell you the negotiations have entered a new phase, which is more a technical side of trying to get the language right. If we can agree upon the numbers, we are still apart on some issues. A number of issues need to be worked on, but the last 24 hours have moved the ball down the field. One thing that you have clearly not heard yet in this recording, and you have not heard from me in these quotes, is numbers. I mean, where are the numbers? How much is this? How much is that? Ru Khanna from Democratic California says people can't wait until February for stimulus. 1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. It'll allow Biden to start with infrastructure. Obama won in 2008 by doing the right thing on TARP instead of what was expedient. Make a deal and put the ball in McConnell's court. Pelosi also said today, help is on the way. There will be a bill. It's a question of if it's time to pay for November rent, which is my goal, or is it going to be shortly thereafter and retroactive? I'm pretty happy. I think we have a prospect for an agreement, and it is in a position we have never been in before, the deal. My view is that there's no reason that American schools shouldn't be the safest place in America for our children to learn. It takes some money for the places and classes and teachers and ventilation. It will be, she is optimistic. I want people to know that help is on the way. It will be bigger, better, and safer and more retroactive. So as you sit here today, what should you think? What is my opinion? What is the amounts? When would you receive the amounts? I know this is a lot to digest. It may make your heart sort of putter because you have gone through a lot through this whole thing, and it's just, it's very hard to. I've seen your tweets. Someone this morning said her coffee pot just, so. All right, so let's get to the numbers. The last number we have on Steve Mnuchin was $1,200 for a stimulus check, and it was $1,200 for all adults, $1,000 for all children, and this is for anyone who's on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. So there would be no disqualifier or reducer because you are a dependent on someone else's tax return. All adults, $1,200. That was the last detail we had on stimulus checks from Steve Mnuchin 2 weeks ago. But 24 hours ago, Mark Meadows said that we are currently at a bigger stimulus check. So, how much is the stimulus check? We don't know. Are they briefing us? No, they're not briefing us. Is the stimulus check bigger for adults? We just don't know. Is it bigger for a child? We don't know. They are literally going to play a game, which I really am not happy again with, that they're going to say, hey, here we go. Here's the deal. Take it or leave it, America. We did this for you. And then you look at it and you're like, I really don't like this deal, Nancy and Steve. What did you do here? And that may ultimately happen. Hazard pay, will there be hazard pay in there? I don't know. I don't think so. What will happen to FPUC? What will happen to EIDL? Where will the numbers be? Okay, let me give you my opinion and my analysis of the situation and my predictions of the situation. This is based upon today's data as of right now. And I said before, it's changing every few hours. I could have a different opinion a few hours from now. One, I think you will have a deal within 48 hours. There will be a deal between Steve and Nancy. Two, I don't know if these two people in 48 hours will tell you the deal offers. I mean, they may say, we have a deal. What are the numbers? Oh, sorry, we're keeping that a secret. I hope they don't do that anymore because I'm a little tired of it. I mean, I think you are too. Third, what could be the stimulus check amounts? I think that the stimulus check amount may be more than $1,200 for adults. I think that the stimulus check amount for the child may be more than $1,000 for the child. I think that the household family may be a 5-person household, that it will not be taken out for child support, will not be taken out for taxes, will not be taken out for debt collections, that there will be only one stimulus check in this package. Yes, I think they're really pushing for one stimulus check and a larger stimulus check, and they're going to once again not serve the interests of the American people. I think that's going to happen. Two, I think for FPUC, that's going to be retroactive to middle September, which again will not be fair. It will not be retroactive to late July, where it should be, which is when FPUC last expired, and that it will not go as far as it should. My belief, my prediction is that their FPUC will be a September retroactive FPUC that goes to mid-January and is $600 a week. I just sense that's probably where it is, because if Trump is just throwing numbers everywhere and throwing money everywhere, he might as well just have thrown money at that as well. Hazard pay, will it be in there? No, I don't predict it's going to be in there. I believe that Nancy Pelosi is going to really throw this to the street. She took it out, and no one has been arguing for it. Not even Steve Mnuchin, and I don't think it's going to be in there. So will there be hazard pay-ish grants in there? Yes. There will be EIDL grant. There'll be the CDC grant that is for frontline workers. And there'll be other types of grants. There'll be grants for rent. There'll be student loan debt forgiveness, student loan debt repayment moratoriums, money for food, and eviction moratoriums, mortgage forbearance. There will be all that and more. Next, how about PUA and FPEUC? Will that be extended in there? I really hope. I have heard nothing about that. I have heard absolutely categorically nothing about that. Finally, the big question. When would you receive this money? When would it become a law? And will it become law? Here's my prediction on the situation. I really think that Donald Trump is really against the ropes and needs to pull a cat out of the hat. And if he wants to get elected, he needs to make this law within 24 hours. He needs to make this law right away. If he cannot make this law because of problems with Mitch or problems with the Senate or problems with someone else or problems with Nancy Pelosi, he's going to be really gone. Because at this point, he's running out of money. He's behind the polls. And just saying he has a deal is not going to cut it. Can he do it? So let's see. The deal maker himself. Let's see if he can push it to law. Ironically, Nancy Pelosi has said now 3 times in interviews she wants this law before the election. And I think it's because she now understands that if she doesn't, there will be no stimulus until February or March next year, and that will take Joe Biden, if he wins, upwards of 3 years to get this economy back to track, as opposed to passing this now, and Joe Biden could, if he wins, could get the economy back to track within 6 months. I think that is what she's being told, and she has gotten the message to get something done and not have Joe Biden come in with nothing if he wins 4 months from now. Boy, let me answer some incredible questions in the few minutes that I have remaining, if I can. Gabriel, brother, I have Nancy Pelosi saying goodbye to the United States soon. William Schottler, no deal by election day means no deal for a long time. It does. Samel, Trump is playing the right into her hands so she doesn't do an executive order for checks. That's a great point. Expressionist discussions failed. No surprise. February. That's not true. Wee's comments are 21 hours ago. Wally Dyer, they're just dragging their feet. Michelle, exactly all the numbers and terms should be transparent to the American people. Amy, people are tired of Nancy. Michelle, I pray to God they get something done. Shalia, closer is not done. Well, this time it is. William, I like Purple Power in the mornings, afternoons, and nights. LALATE leads the way. Thank you so much. Daniel Davis, so tired of these people. Ben Bailey, Nancy and Mitch must go. Stimulus has been held up since April. It has. If you have questions or comments to today's video, drop them in the comments below. Finger going the wrong way. And also subscribe. Subscribe. We're doing 2 million something views a day, so let's get those subscribers up. 500,000 viewers, baby. 500,000 subscribers, baby. That's the next focus. 500K. Let's do it. Also, like this video. Coming up next is a continuation of this video, then McConnell versus Trump, and then Pelosi versus Mnuchin. Big updates. Stay with all the videos, and stay with LA for more.